And we're back, another KATcast, and this is all about pet peeves when we're driving.
Oof.
I have a couple of these. I'll kick it off. Okay.
Me too.
I cannot stand, and this drives me absolutely nuts, and I don't know why. It just does.
Yeah.
When it's raining outside and you see people that don't have their headlights on.
I think what happens with that a lot of times is so many cars
have those automatics. I think so too.
I know that, I've had people kind of like flash their lights at me like, hey, dummy. And I'm like, dang it. Because when you have it on the auto, you don't realize when it's not.
Yes. And it is the law. That's the thing. The sign says lights required or lights on when wipers are required.
Exactly. Yeah. And normally, most of the time, most cars are programmed to where when the windshield wipers are on, the lights will kick on, right?
Ooh, mine might be a little older.
Yeah. Or it does it senses when it gets dark enough, it comes on or whatever like that. But it can't be every car that's malfunctioning.
No.
It can't be
Some
every
people are just idiots.
I just see it too
Let's
often.
Just be honest.
I see it way too often. It happens all the time, and it drives me bonkers. Yeah. Just because I'm like, man, if I pull
turn
out...
your lights on. Come on.
And it's like they got a gray car or something, too. It's like, if I pull out in front of you, you sideswipe me. It's your fault because you don't have your lights on.
And it does make a difference. The lights on make a difference.
It does.
I mean, it's like it helps you see them.
It really does.
It draws attention to them.
Especially, like the other day we had a monsoon. It was raining, 3 different directions. You have something like that. You ain't seeing somebody that has a gray car without the lights on.
No.
That is insane.
No.
Yeah.
No, that day, everything looked great. You couldn't really see where the sky ended and the road began because everything was great. I mean, that was pretty wild. For me, I've got a couple.
Me too.
So the left-hand lane, as you're driving, it's not the leisure lane. That's not what it's for. It's not for you to just take your Sunday drive as you go. That's a passing lane. You pass and you get over. That doesn't mean you pass and that's your only lane and you just keep going forever and ever.
And you go over 70 miles an hour when you're in the passing lane.
Okay, I am guilty of this frequently.
100%.
And no, I'm just being honest here. My wife in the passenger seat, she says, "You've been in the left lane a long time here." I said, She goes, "Why are you driving in the left lane?" I said, "I don't know, because I wasn't remembering." And then cars are behind me or passing me on the right.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm sure they're flipping me the bird when I can't see.
Well, and that's another thing. People need to calm down as they're driving. First off, you're driving like a big old death machine. It's not a toy.
Yeah, no.
So, riding people's heinies, if that person has to brake suddenly, all of a sudden you're going to be in their back seat. And you're going to be owing them the vehicle. Okay. It's nothing to mess around with.
Tailgate. Speaking of which, tailgating is one of my... I hate doing it. Mm-hmm. And I hate being the passenger in the car when somebody else is doing it. Don't you dare say my wife. Because it does tend to unnerve me when we're getting really close. We're doing 60 miles an hour. And
you start pumping that passenger brake. You're like, I don't have one on my side.
And I can see the hair on the back of the neck of the driver in front of me. I'm just saying. So that's
and for the tailgater, that's not going to make me go any faster.
No.
In fact, I'm going to hit exactly the speed limit.
When somebody is tailgating me, my tactic, I will not hit the brake. I will take my foot off the gas and slow down to the point where it finally don't want to be behind me anymore, and they will pass me.
You do that thing where you match the speed of the other person by you, so no one can pass. We're just here now.
So everybody's doing 30 miles an hour.
We're just here. We're just gonna have a good time.
And the other thing is merging. Okay, when I'm driving and there's an on ramp to my right, okay, that's your cue. If it's safe to do it, get into the left lane. Give that car a chance to get onto the highway. People who stay in that right lane, even though there's a car right, it's like, dude, you don't have to be right there. You can then use the left lane
Move
to allow
over
that other
to let
car
someone merge onto the interstate. Exactly.
And the same thing, when you're merging, you hope somebody's going to, hey, can I share the highway with you? You know?
Yeah.
You get those impatient people, too, that'll, zip on by you, only to go to the next exit. You're like, that did nothing for you. I'm passing you again, right?
Exactly.
You're like, what do you mean? Why'd you do that? What were you in a big hurry to pass one car? That doesn't mean anything.
Well, and that's just it. How did we get so impatient and so selfish?
Just we are as a society. That's why.
And, that we think we are the end-all, be-all on the highway. There's nobody else, and everybody else should cater to us.
It's reflected in our driving. That's why.
It's ridiculous, is what it is.
We've all had the experience of somebody being an idiot behind you, and they zoom past you, and maybe a couple of miles down the road, what do you see? then pulled over on the right with the highway
That's
patrol
when you're honking
lights.
at them, laughing,
I'm like,
waving.
yeah!
That is the best. Yes.
It's like an instant
Have a
karma
great day, man.
gratification.
You know?
Exactly. Hope it was worth it, buddy. Yeah. It's just, people are kind of ridiculous. And you forget, there's new drivers on the road. There's older drivers on the road. So, yeah, we kind of need to learn to be just a smidge more patient. Like the whole road rage thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we're really impressed, pal. I mean, come on. All you're doing is showing your hiney.
Literally.
Basically.
Yeah. That's kind of what I think,
and
too.
honestly, I mean, okay, so you're getting all road ragey. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when you do catch up to that other vehicle?
Now,
honestly,
this isn't really
people are crazy.
This isn't really a peeve. I mean, I guess in a way it is, but okay. Down near me, there is a right turn you can make off the highway. There's a right turn you can make, except there's a light there, red, green, right, and the sign. The sign says right turn signal. Mm-hmm. So does that mean that I need to sit there and wait for it to turn green before I can turn right? Because isn't that what no turn on red means? Wouldn't a no turn on red make more sense?
You can't do it. Yeah.
Then it's like, why does there have to be a light there? And I don't understand that.
Wait, are you saying because you can do a right on red?
You can, except that there's a sign there that says right turn signal, and it's a red, yellow, green.
Okay.
So I don't know.
You live in a weird area, buddy. I don't know what to tell you.
I turn right.
I would imagine
if it's clear, I turn right.
I think that you could still probably turn right on red, as long as it doesn't say cannot turn right on red.
Don't turn on red. I get that.
You're fine.
I get that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just because it's a busy part of that area. Maybe that's why it's the right turn signal because you need it at some point.
I'm not sure what the law is in Missouri, but I know there are places that you can actually turn left on red. If it's a one-way road like this coming and you want to turn left because there's no other direction traffic is coming, if it's a red light and nobody else is coming, you can turn left on red, which is like...
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do that.
I don't know.
Maybe there's some sort of hidden rule that if that's that scenario, maybe you can. I don't know. But I would imagine probably not. I think that we should probably take our test, have a re-up on our test to see who should still be driving and who shouldn't be driving.
Absolutely.
I'm totally in support of that.
You know
and I'm the one you would think would be most opposed to that because I'm 65. I'm like, I don't want to take any more tests. I'm taking all my tests. But you know what? Once every 10 years is not unreasonable.
No. I think it number one, you're going to have better drivers on the road that way. And it's you pass the test one time and you don't have to remember all the things you did again, right?
And
you don't have to be good at those things.
I don't know that a road test is necessary. Maybe a road test and written. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where it would.
Maybe not the written so much as the actual road test.
Get out in the car and see your response time and everything.
Can you still drive well?
Right.
Well, and with so many people, kind of breaking the law and they're doing excessive speeding.
Breaking the law.
All this other stuff. It's kind of I think of it this way. Is it really worth going to jail over? If you really stop and think about about 100% of things in life, it's not worth going to jail over.
And there are lives at risk. That's the thing, you know?
That's where that whole, hey, you're driving a death machine.
Right,
It's not a toy. It's not.
It is a 2,000-pound plus weapon that you're driving.
Here's the thing. It's not necessarily an age thing. Mm-hmm. Because there are, I know one guy, he's 91. He drives every day. He's a great driver, you know? And it's not like he's really slow. I'm doing 25 on the high. It's not. He's a normal, good driver. There are 30 and 40-year-olds who are terrible drivers.
Yep.
So, I don't know, maybe once you get past 50 or, I don't know, again, once every 5 or 10 years,
take a test just to make sure you're still good.
Because this guy I'm telling you about, man, he could pass it with no problem at all.
At least that might be my solution to some of the problems on the road. Again, is it something that's going to happen? Probably not. But if I had a suggestion or say in the matter, I'd be like, why don't we just do that? Why don't we incorporate something like that?
Well, we have to register our car every couple of years. We don't make a big deal about it necessarily.
Well, and also, a stop sign is just that. It's a stop sign. It's not a suggestion. It's not a pause. Yeah. It's not a just slow up and keep going.
What is that called? A California stop? Or
so
what
on Center Street and Whole Summit, you could sit there. I could sit at that gas station as I'm pumping gas, and I can watch and I can count probably at least a good 8 or 9 cars that will either just pause or they will run through it or just slowly go through. And it's like, it's a stop sign.
Stop,
if I was a
stop.
cop, that's where I would sit all day long.
Oh, yes.
You know,
it's ridiculous.
When my oldest grandson was real little, he used to, be in the back seat of the car, in his car seat, and we'd be driving, just me and him in my truck, and we were learning what the stoplights mean, the traffic lights. So I go, what is red? He goes, stop. That's right. What is green? Go. That's right. What is yellow? Wait. I wait. Okay. Now I didn't want to tell him yellow means pedal to the metal. But,
it does not.
But
only if you're almost over the line.
But here's the thing: he learned those so clearly that before very long, he'd be in the back seat and we're driving, and a half a mile up, he sees a red light. He goes, Grandpa, it's a red light. I go, yeah, but we're not there yet. It's okay. We don't have to stop yet, but good on you for knowing what that means.
So let me ask you guys this. So when you're sitting at an intersection and the light turns green, do you go immediately?
So I used to. I don't anymore, and the reason why is because actually right out here,
red light.
Right after here, at our office out here. If I would have went immediately, I would have gotten into a really bad accident. Right. I would have gotten literally sideswiped by a person that just completely ran the red.
Yeah, I've seen that before too, and it's like, okay, so now, I'm the one usually getting honked at because I'm waiting. I'm pausing about a good 5-6 seconds, and I'm looking both ways to make sure I'm not seeing some fool.
I at least look to make sure that no one's trying to just gun right through.
Yeah.
I tend to look around first, okay? And this is one of the things I taught my kids, too, when I was teaching them to drive. I said, what's really, really important in that type of situation is eye contact. Mm-hmm. Make eye contact with the other vehicles, look with the cars. Look at them, catch the other driver's eyes, so everybody kind of knows what everybody else is doing. No surprises. And you can inch out a little bit, okay, hey, everybody, I'm moving. You know what I mean? It's clear that way. Eye contact, very important.
And I thought you were going to say something like you were humanizing each other. I was like, wow, this is really deep for Hilly.
He's not an android.
You give the old friendly nod. You're like,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's another thing. So my parents live out in the country.
Yes.
And, before they moved, and probably like a good 20 years ago or so, when we first got out there, everybody waved at each other as you went by. Hey, how you doing? Even if you didn't really know
each
other,
yeah.
you just, hey, a friendly wave or a nod as you're going, right? And it's so funny because nowadays, I don't know if everybody's just gotten ridiculously younger. That's probably it. But nobody does that anymore.
You're not getting that anymore,
huh?
No,
and it's so sad.
It's almost awkward when you do wave at somebody or look at somebody and they don't know how to react to it.
Yeah.
They're like, how do I interact with
I haven't had that happen yet because I live on a back gravel road, and eventually that road ends. I mean, there's just and I'm on one of the ends of the road that has another branch that goes down and all, but. I mean, I'm driving along, and I love that. I'm just here. We're on the. How you doing?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
How you doing? Wave. But it's like certain rules you have. Okay.
Exactly.
So I'll go, and they'll go. Hand off the wheel.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. As soon as we get off that road, then there's another road, like a bigger highway. We don't wave on that one. Because we don't know those people. But on our local road, yes, we wave to everybody,
See, that's how I judge what's a good neighborhood and what's not.
Yeah.
If you roll into a neighborhood and people are waving at you, it's a friendly place.
Pretty good,
If you're rolling in and people are giving you the eye, like,
even
what are you doing
if you don't
here?
know them. You don't know. I mean, half the people that I wave to, I probably don't know who they are, but they might recognize my vehicle or I recognize theirs. But even if I don't recognize it, I see them, we just pass each other.
So the husband and I, I've been in the subdivision for 16 years. He's been in it for 10. And I can always tell when somebody new has moved in because you'll wave. You'll see a kid walking their dog or you'll see, people out in their yard or whatever. Mm-hmm. I always wave. That's what we were taught. Yay. You acknowledge somebody else.
Oh, absolutely.
And the ones who don't wave back, the husband's always like, they're new.
They're new.
They don't know the rules yet.
They don't know the rules yet.
Exactly.
Well, I think a lot of it, too, is a Missouri and or Midwest thing.
It could be.
Because I don't recall this necessarily in Jersey.
Yeah, people waving and
growing,
stuff.
Yeah, or as a young, young driver. I don't recall. I mean, maybe they did and I didn't. I don't know. But I don't think so. I think it is more of sort of Midwest-friendly thing.
Also, can we talk about, too, how, maybe you've noticed this, maybe it's just me, that the speed limit has just increased to 80. Like, no one goes 70 anymore. No, it hasn't.
Oh,
what I'm saying is people will fly by you.
Driving all over wherever you go.
But if you're like, they haven't. That's the point I'm getting to. Yeah. But people yet fly past you going insane. They're like, there's times where even I'm like, I'm going 78. How much faster do you need to go?
I get that complaint from my wife. Like, she's sitting there and she goes, how fast are you going? And then real fast I slow down. 75. She goes, you're doing almost 80.
Yeah.
Okay,
but even then, right? You're going 78. Let's just say you're going 80.
I can feel it in the ride.
My family, with my dad, and my wife, they like to kind of speed a little bit too. Law enforcement, it is what it is. They're used to going fast, right? They're used to going fast. But
what are you saying, Jordan?
But the point is, you're going 80, and you got people. And you're like,
I know
the speed limit. Well, I'm speeding.
So what the husband I always say when somebody just passes like we're sitting still on the highway. We'll look at each other and be like, they got to poop. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's an emergency.
It's an emergency.
Well, how crazy is when you're driving? I mean, you're like, 76, 77 miles an hour and there's a guy like right on your bumper go, dude, how fast?
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
At that point, I will slide to the right. And then, boom.
But it's like, you think all these people are going that? No.
See, he admitted it.
Yeah.
He'll be in the left-hand lane.
He said, I'll go to the right.
I'll go to the right.
Yeah.
Because I felt to me, I was going fast enough for that lane. I was cruising, man.
You're not supposed to be cruising. It's not the cruise. It's not the leisure lane. That's not what the left lane is. It's a passing lane.
Oh, boy. I've been busted. I've been busted.
Hey, it was Kevin that killed the maid in the kitchen
with the candlestick. Good grief!
Well, if you got a pet driving peeve, will you share it with us? Cat Country.
Everybody's like getting by Kevin Hilly when he's in the cabin.
My pet peeve is Kevin. Yeah, it's exactly right. Cat Country at mailzimmer.com. We'd love to hear your driving pet peeve.
We all have them.
And perhaps we'll see you on the road and wave at you,
We will. That's what we do.
And that is another edition of the Cat Country KATcast.